Every year, the Royal Rumble match takes center stage, where 30 superstars battle it out for the chance to headline WrestleMania. But only a select few have managed to win the prestigious match multiple times. Today, we are going to be ranking the 10 wrestlers who have done it multiple times, and diving into what made their victory stand out, from the dominant to the unexpected. These are the legends who've made history in the Rumble. In 1990, the Royal Rumble was still trying to find its footing, as it was still a relatively new concept, but it was quickly becoming one of WWE's signature events. Hogan entered the Rumble at 25, with an already star-studded field in the ring. Hulkamania was in full force, and you could feel the energy. When the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan came face-to-face, two larger-than-life superstars, staring each other down as the entire arena lost their mind. This was a preview of their epic clash at WrestleMania 6, and fans knew exactly what they were witnessing, and it was something special. A year later, in 1991, Hogan secures his second Royal Rumble victory, and becoming the first ever two-time winner. Hulkamania was still running wild, but the stakes were even higher. As the Rumble match unfolded, chaos reigned. Names like The Undertaker and Randy Savage kept this match unpredictable. Hulkamania prevailed in the end. With the crowd roaring, Hogan hulked up and slammed Earthquake, sent him flying over the top rope to secure his second Royal Rumble win. Both of these Rumbles were prior to the winner being granted a title shot in the main event of WrestleMania, which is why Hulk Hogan ranks so low on this list. Although it did help establish the Royal Rumble in its early days, in the end it had no meaning. Let's take it back to 2010. Edge had been sidelined for over 6 months after tearing his Achilles tendon, an injury many thought would end his career. The Rated R superstar made his shocking return at the entry number of 29. Edge went on an elimination spree, targeting his long-term rival and former tag team partner Chris Jericho. Edge eliminates Cena to punch his ticket to WrestleMania. A perfect return story, a comeback fueled by grit. Except he loses to Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 26. Now fast forward to the year 2021. Edge was no stranger to defying the odds, after being forced into retirement in 2011 due to a career-ending neck injury. No one thought he'd ever step back in the ring, but after his miraculous return at the 2020 Royal Rumble, Edge had one more story to tell. Edge enters the Royal Rumble at number 1, lasting nearly an hour. He last eliminates Randy Orton to cap off their storied rivalry. Edge then goes on to the main event of WrestleMania 37 and gets stacked by Roman Reigns, becoming the only two-time Royal Rumble winner to be unsuccessful in both title matches at WrestleMania, which is why Edge falls at number 9. In 2002, Triple H had been out nearly 8 months, after tearing his quad during a match in 2001. Many doubted if he could ever return to the same level. But when he made his comeback on Raw in Madison Square Garden January 2002, the crowd erupted. The game was back, and he had one goal in mind, to win the Royal Rumble. Triple H showcased his signature power and strategy, taking out legends like Big Show and Mr. Perfect. But the final moments of this Rumble are unforgettable. It comes down to Triple H and Kurt Angle, the reigning top heel in the WWE. After an intense back and forth, Triple H capitalized with a huge clothesline to eliminate Angle and claim his first Royal Rumble victory. The game was officially back on top. His path to WrestleMania was secured, and a match against Chris Jericho in the main event was locked in, even though many believed The Rock and Hulk Hogan should have main evented as they stole the show. Now fast forward to 2016. Triple H was no longer just a competitor. He was the leader of the Authority, one of the most dominant factions in WWE history. But when Roman Reigns was forced to defend the WWE Championship in the Royal Rumble match, the game saw an opportunity to step back into the ring and make history. Roman entered the match at number 1 and was the clear target of the night. After battling the entire roster, he faced a shocking twist when Triple H entered the Rumble at number 30. The final moment saw Triple H eliminate Roman Reigns and send a message to the big dog while claiming the WWE Championship. In an attempt to get Roman Reigns over as the top babyface, this leads to a match in the main event of WrestleMania 32, Roman Reigns versus the Game Triple H. The reason Triple H comes in at number 8 is because both of his WrestleMania matches were duds following his Royal Rumble victories. In 2003, when Brock Lesnar was living up to his nickname, the next big thing, in less than a year, Lesnar had won the King of the Ring, captured the WWE Championship by defeating The Rock in the main event of SummerSlam, and even defeated The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match. But after losing the title to The Big Show, Brock's path back to the title ran through the Royal Rumble. The Final Four comes down to Brock Lesnar, Kane, Batista, and The Undertaker. After a heated showdown, Brock managed to eliminate The Undertaker, solidifying his victory and earning his spot in the main event of WrestleMania 19 against Kurt Angle, in which was a true showdown of who was the best wrestler at the time. Fast forward to 2022 and Brock Lesnar was no longer the hungry rookie. He was one of the most dominant forces in WWE history. After losing the championship to Bobby Lashley earlier in the night thanks to interference from Roman Reigns, the Beast wasn't about to let the night end on a low note. In a shocking twist, Lesnar entered the Royal Rumble match at number 30 and quickly tore through the competition, including Bad Bunny. Lesnar's 19-year gap between Royal Rumble wins is the largest in history. Brock comes in at number 7 because the 2022 victory led to one of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time. 2005, a year where Batista was breaking out as one of WWE's hottest rising stars. As a member of Evolution, he'd spent years learning under Triple H and Ric Flair. But by the time the Royal Rumble rolled around, it was clear that Batista was ready to step out on his own. This Royal Rumble will forever be remembered as its chaotic ending. It came down to John Cena and Batista, two of the brightest young stars. But when both men went over the top rope and hit the floor at the same time, chaos ensued, leading to an infamous restart, where Vince McMahon tore both quads in the process. Batista regained his composure, threw John Cena over the top rope, and secured his first Royal Rumble victory. This victory sets the stage for his legendary face-off with Triple H at the main event of WrestleMania 21, where he cemented himself as the top star and gave us one of the best moments in wrestling history. Things are very different in 2014, though. Batista was no longer a rising star. He was Hollywood's heavyweight and a former multi-time WWE champion. After years away from the WWE, Batista made his return, entering the Royal Rumble as one of the favorites to win. But this Rumble wasn't without controversy. Fans were firmly behind Daniel Bryan at the time, and when Bryan didn't even enter the match, the crowd turned on Batista. By the final moments, it was Batista and Roman Reigns. But the boos were deafening. Batista's 2 Royal Rumble wins tell 2 different stories. In 2005, it was about breaking out as a star and stepping into the spotlight for the first time. In 2014, it was about stealing the spotlight. 2009, when Randy Orton was at the height of the Viper persona. At this time, he was leading Legacy, a faction with Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. Their goal was to dominate the WWE and cement Orton's place at the top. Orton entered the Rumble at number 8 and immediately put his strategy to work. With Cody and Ted by his side, Legacy worked to eliminate other top stars and keep Orton safe. Orton's brilliance was on full display as he used his allies to take out threats. The final 4 came down to Triple H, Orton, and his teammates Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. After Triple H had eliminated Cody and Ted, it came down to the Game and the Viper. Orton capitalized with perfect timing and threw Triple H over the top rope to win the match. With one of the best builds to a WrestleMania match of all time, these two would clash in the main event for the WWE Championship. Fast forward to 2017. Randy Orton was in a different place, aligned with Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. Orton entered the match as a wild card. Fans weren't really sure where his loyalties laid. But one thing was clear, the Viper always has a plan. With Bray Wyatt by his side, Orton once again showed his ability to adapt, surviving the chaos and positioning himself for the perfect final moments. It all came down to Orton, Roman Reigns, and Bray Wyatt. After Reigns eliminated Wyatt, it was Orton versus the big dog. With the crowd divided, Orton delivered a thunderous RKO and tossed Roman over the top rope to secure his second Royal Rumble victory in one of the most star-studded Royal Rumbles of all time. Everything changed on the road to WrestleMania, though. Despite pledging his loyalty and allegiance to Bray Wyatt, Orton revealed that his true plan was to destroy the Wyatt family from within. In one of the most shocking moments of the feud, Orton set Wyatt's compound on fire, symbolically burning their alliance to ashes. One of the best stories of Randy Orton's career, although unfortunately their match did not deliver at WrestleMania, and that's why he ranks so low on this list. In 2008, a year where John Cena shocked the wrestling world with one of the most unforgettable moments in Rumble history. Just months earlier, Cena had suffered a torn pec, an injury that was supposed to sideline him for up to a year. But as we know, you can't count out Big Match John. As the clock ticked down to the final entrant, the Madison Square Garden crowd erupted when Cena's music hit at number 30. No one expected to see Cena return so soon, and shock everyone as their face said it all. The champ was back. One final AA to Triple H, Cena eliminated the Game to win the 2008 Royal Rumble. While everyone remembers his epic return, most forget his WrestleMania match that year ended up being a triple threat that was on the middle of the card in which he was unsuccessful in capturing the WWE Championship. Now fast forward to 2013. Cena was looking to rebuild his legacy after a tough 2012, which included a high-profile loss to The Rock at WrestleMania 28. Heading into the Rumble, Cena was determined to get back on track and reclaim his spot at the top of the WWE. The final moments came down to Cena and Ryback after an intense back and forth. Cena used his experience to outsmart Ryback, sending him over the top rope and claiming his second Royal Rumble victory. This win not only earned Cena a title shot at WrestleMania 29, but it set up one of the biggest rematches in the history of wrestling. John Cena versus The Rock 2. John Cena's Royal Rumble victory showcased two very different, but equally iconic moments in his career. In 2008, it was all about shock factor, a triumphant return that nobody had saw coming. In 2013, it was a redemption story, and proving Cena still had what it took to be the face of the WWE. Cody Rhodes' journey to the 2023 Royal Rumble was nothing short of extraordinary. After leaving AEW in early 2022, Cody returned to WWE at WrestleMania 38, where he delivered an instant classic against Seth Rollins. His momentum was red hot, but a torn pec in June of 2022 sidelined him just as fans were rallying behind his quest to finish the story. Cody's return at the Rumble was a no-brainer, but announcing it ahead of time and then having him enter at number 30 is a true head-scratcher. The final stretch of the match came down to him and Gunther, a powerhouse in his own right who had dominated the match from the start. For almost an hour, Gunther had outlasted some of WWE's top names. Cody's Rumble victory would have been more special if him and Gunther had switched entry numbers, proving that Cody Rhodes had what it takes to go this full length and to last an hour. Regardless, Cody Rhodes was on his way to finish the story. Or so we thought. At the heart of the contest was Cody Rhodes' quest to finish the story of his late father, Dusty Rhodes, by becoming the champion. Cody enters the match as a fan favorite, bolstered by his redemption arc. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns carried a monumental title reign, showcasing his dominance as the tribal chief and his ruthless persona that had made him one of the most compelling champions in history. Cody Rhodes was unsuccessful in challenging for the WWE Championship at the main event of WrestleMania 39, which brings us to the 2024 Royal Rumble, where Cody Rhodes made history, becoming the first man in over 25 years to win the match back-to-back. The final moments were a back-and-forth battle between CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, and one of the most compelling final two in history. Ultimately, Cody secures the victory, sets the stage for himself to prove he was the new face of the company. The Rock even tries to steal the main event spot from Cody Rhodes, and the We Want Cody movement took over, and showcased that even the biggest star in the world has to take a backseat to Cody Rhodes so he could challenge for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 40, continuing his quest to finish the story. Cody successfully finishes his story at WrestleMania 40 in one of the most exciting main events of all time. 1995, a young Shawn Michaels was ready to prove that he could conquer any challenge thrown his way, but entering the Royal Rumble at number 1, the odds were stacked against him. The Rumble was a brutal test of endurance, and to win, Michaels would have to outlast 29 other superstars. But this wasn't just any Rumble. It was Michaels' chance to prove he was the showstopper. Shawn becomes the first ever superstar to win from the number 1 spot. This victory wasn't just about a single match. It was the birth of his legacy. The win at the 1995 Royal Rumble showcased that Shawn Michaels wasn't just another superstar. He was the Heartbreak Kid, and he was destined for greatness. At WrestleMania 11, the stage is set for a confrontation unlike any other. On one side, a cocky Shawn Michaels, brash, young, unpredictable. On the other side, Diesel, the powerhouse, the former friend, and now the bitter enemy. Their paths have collided, and at WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels was unsuccessful in capturing the ultimate prize, the WWE Championship. A year later, Shawn has set to outlast his former foe, Diesel, in order to punch his ticket to WrestleMania, this time in the main event. Whereas a year prior, Shawn's match didn't even main event over an NFL player. The rivalry between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart had been brewing for years, from their first encounter to the tension-filled moments that led up to WrestleMania 12. It was clear this was a battle of two distinct personalities, the perfectionist versus the showman, the technical wizard versus the Heartbreak Kid, and both had a singular goal, to be the best. This match began with an intense feeling of respect, but animosity in the air. For over 60 minutes in the longest main event of WrestleMania history, these two warriors battled it out. The WrestleMania 12 main event will forever be remembered as a masterclass in wrestling. It wasn't just about who won, it was about the journey these two wrestlers took you on, and the mark they left on the business forever as the boyhood dream has come true. Mr. Royal Rumble, due to his unmatched dominance and historic success in the Rumble matches, his connection to this event is cemented by the fact that he is the only superstar to win the Royal Rumble match 3 different times, which makes him the most successful performer in the history of the match.
Austin's performances in the Royal Rumble changed how fans viewed the match. In 1997, his win was controversial due to him being thrown over the top rope but entering the match when the refs didn't see. But it helped to elevate his anti-hero persona. Although this didn't even lead to a championship match at WrestleMania 13, it led to one of the best matches of all time. In 1998, he became a fan favorite and won the match in a clean fashion, solidifying his position as the most over superstar in history. Stone Cold, the hottest star in the industry, had a path to the main event, paved with blood, sweat, and defiance. Having defeated Vince McMahon, the man who tried to control him, Austin had become the face of the Attitude Era. His win in the 98 Rumble made him the #1 contender, but this was more than just a match for the WWE Championship. This was Austin's chance to cement himself as the new face of the company, with one of the most iconic builds to a WrestleMania main event of all time with the impact of Mike Tyson. Now for his third win, Stone Cold wins in 2001. It was a defining moment in history. Not only did it solidify his place as the face of the company, but it also set the stage for one of the most iconic rivalries in history. Austin vs. Rock at WrestleMania 17. The Attitude Era was in full force, and Austin's victory was a turning point in WWE. Austin, the biggest face in the company, had been adored by fans for his defiance against authority and anti-establishment. However, aligning himself with Vince McMahon, WWE's ultimate villain, this was an incredible swerve that shocked everyone. But in the end, it was a stupid decision. But being the only 3-time Royal Rumble winner is too undeniable to put anybody else on the list other than him at #1. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss out on the latest content. If you have a favorite moment in WWE or you have a match you want me to cover, drop it in the comments below.